Hello children, it's Mrs. Lee here. It's assembly number 1 and it's the week beginning the 22nd of November. Wow, the weeks are going quickly, aren't they? Right, what's behind me? Yes, that's right, it's our routine. And the first thing we look at is the time. What is the time, Mr. Wall? Can we have a look? I can see that the long hand, that's the minute hand, is on the 9. And I know that that means 2:45. Now, the hour hand, the short hand, is in between the 11 and the 12. It's closer to the 12 though. So I know that that means it's 11:45. Oh, exciting. If it was 11:45 right now, you would probably be listening to your tummy because it's rumbling. It's lunchtime. What else is on our board? I can see that we are still learning the language of Urdu. Salam alaikum. And also, the Makaton sign of the week has changed. Let's have a look. This is one we've done before, but I think it's really important to practice it again. I don't know if you can see, up here it says really and true. And that links to our 7 golden rules. Because one of our golden rules is be honest. So I want to do this. That means true. Honest. Can you do that for me? Honest. Honest. So at Hertford Infant School, I would like everybody here to be honest, to tell the truth. It's a tricky one to do. And in a moment, I'm going to read you a story about a little boy who found it very, very challenging to be honest. Do you remember this book from last week? I remember this book from last week. In this book, we talked about, that's right, about being, can you remember the sign? That's right, to be kind. To be kind. In our story, there was one colour who was not being kind, and we needed to tell that person who is like that to stop. Now, do you remember we wore our odd socks? Oh, have a look at the photographs. Did you see them? Oh, thank you for wearing your odd socks to school. And also, let's have a look now at what we've done in our research centre. Did you see our lovely new display? That's all your hard work, so thank you. Now, if you are having your lunch, lunchtime, having your lunch, and you're going out to play, you can go into the research centre, and I'm pointing because it's over there. So if you're standing here in the hall in front of our routine board, you're thinking, where is the research centre? We'll go over to the healthy selfie board, go out the doors, and then you will be in the research centre, and that is where you'll see our display of socks. Now, if you are ever feeling sad or maybe feeling angry and you need to tell one of us grown-ups and you can't think who, then go and look at our display, because on there, on those socks, are lots and lots of different names of all the people in school who can help you. Okay. What was our Makaton sign this week again? Oh yeah, that's right, to be honest. I'm going to read you our story now. Now, the story I'm reading you It's very, very, very old. In fact, this book that Mrs. Lee has, I've had for over 15 years. And every now and then I dip into it because there's lots of different fables in there. I need you to show me your good listening ears and your good looking eyes, sitting up nice and smart. There's not very many pictures in this book. There's quite a lot of words, so you do need to concentrate. Here we go. The Boy Who Cried Wolf. To begin with, the boy liked looking after the sheep. He played all day, and no one stopped him and told him to feed the chickens or gather the eggs or chop the wood. He blew on his whistle, and he danced with the lambs as they frisked and they skipped in the long, lush grass. He scratched his dog's head, and he threw sticks for her to chase. And in the evenings, he and the dog drove the flock across the hill to meet up with the other shepherds, and they lay down together beside a roaring fire to sleep. After a while, however, the boy grew a bit bored. It's no fun up here on my own, he grumbled. There's no one to talk to, no one takes any notice of me, and all the sheep do is chew, 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 chew. And he blew a sad little tune on his pipe. Even the lambs are too big to dance anymore. There's no sign of a fox or a wolf or a big brown bear. The boy stopped, and he looked at the sheep grazing quietly among the summer flowers, and he looked at his dog dozing in the sunshine, and he looked away to where the other shepherds were, sitting peacefully with their flocks, and he looked down the hill to the little village in the hollow of the hill beneath him, where the men and the women and the children were moving calmly and slowly around in their work. "We're so dull, 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 dull," said the boy, and he jumped to his feet. The sheep raised their heads from chewing the grass, and the dog opened her eyes. "Whoa!" yelled the boy. "Whoa! Help, help!" And he ran around and around and out of the sheep until they were all scurrying this way and that way, frightened. "Bah!" they bleated. "Bah!" The dog barked loudly, and the nearby shepherds snatched up their sticks and came hurrying to help him. Down in the village, everyone dropped what they were doing and came streaming up the hill. "Where is it?" they asked. "Where's the wolf? Is it big? Is it fierce? Has it taken any sheep?" And the boy leaned on his stick. "I drove it away," he said. "It was huge, and it was grey and hungry, but I drove it away." And everybody cheered, yay! The boy was hugged and fussed and patted and petted, and the next day his older brother stayed with him. But after that, the brother went back to the village, and the boy was left alone again. And he sighed as he saw his brother vanish down the hill. Cool, that was fun, he thought. What do you think he's going to do? The boy looked after his sheep for another week, and he whistled his tunes and he threw sticks for his dog, but he didn't really feel like playing or dancing. "So dull, 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 dull," he said. "Whoa!" shouted the boy, and he clapped his hands so that the sheep started hustling and bustling against each other. "Woo!" Well, the sheep bleated loudly, and the dog barked, and the shepherds came running, and the people of the village hurried up the steep hill again, puffing and panting. "Where is it? Where's the wolf?" And the boy shook his head. "It must have slipped away when it heard you coming." And the people and the shepherds looked at each other, and several shook their heads. And the boy was hugged, and he was told he was brave, but no one stayed this time. And soon enough, the boy was all alone again. Everybody had left. Well, the boy looked after his sheep for another 3 days, and he didn't play his whistle, and he hardly spoke to the dog. "Sheep are dull, 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 dull," he said. "Everything's dull. Let's have some fun," he shouted, and he jumped to his feet. "Woof!" he shouted. "Woof!" This time, hardly any sheep moved. The dog got slowly up to her feet, and a couple of shepherds came over. A few villagers puffed their way up the hill, but they didn't seem surprised when the boy explained that the huge wolf had already vanished. They nodded, and they winked at each other. They knew what was going on. Well, that evening, the sky was with dark grey clouds. And the boy was thinking it was probably about time to move his sheep across the hill when suddenly the dog began to growl. He looked at her, surprised, and saw that her fur was bristling and her teeth were bared. "What is it, dog?" he asked, and the sheep began to move restlessly. "Bah, bah, bah," they started to bleat, and then the boy saw it, a slinking, sliding, grey shadow, creeping and crouching as it slipped nearer and nearer and nearer. "Wolf!" he yelled. "Wolf!" But no one came. The boy yelled again, and again, and again. The dog growled one last growl, and then whimpered away. And she scarpered down the hill with her tail between her legs. "Wolf!" screamed the boy and screeched. But still, no one answered. And with a loud wail, he ran to the forest tree and he heaved himself up for safety. And that's when the wolf sprang. Now, my morning, there was no sheep left, only the boy sitting in a tree. And when the other shepherds came to see why he hadn't come to the fire the night before, they saw what had happened. "I'll never cry wolf again," the boy sobbed. "No," said the shepherds, "you won't." And they sent him back to the village where he fed the chickens and he gathered the eggs and he chopped the wood. And do you know what? He never ever had time to play his whistle or to stroke his dog again. There you go. What do you think, children? Did he do a good thing at the beginning? Was he honest? No, he wasn't telling the truth, was he? Now, the moral of that story is that you must always be honest. Because if you tell us things that are not true, when something happens and you want us to believe you, are we going to? No. So please be honest. It's tricky. It's hard, especially if you've done something wrong. But we know at Hertford Infant School we all make mistakes, don't we? And if we are honest and we own up and we talk to the grown-ups about what's happened and then we talk about it and then we think, I'm not going to do that again, then we can all move on. Easy, isn't it? Okay, right, Mrs. Lee's going to finish there because I've been talking quite a lot. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you I remember where our research centre is to go and have a look at our odd sock display. And I hope that you always remember to be kind and to be honest. Right, let's finish. Help me to do the things I should, to be to others kind and good, in all my work and all my play, to grow more loving every day. Amen. Right, one very, very, very last. There it is. Elfridges. Thank you if you've already brought in something to give to the Elfridges shop. Can you and your grown-ups at home have a little rummage around, and I bet you've got some things that you don't want anymore. Maybe you've got a box of games or a box of cards, or maybe you've got some smelly stuff that you don't want anymore. Please bring them into Elfridges and then we will be able to open our shop up very soon. Now, if you are in year 1 and year 2, you remember going to see the elves, don't you? And we wrapped up the presents for you. We're looking forward to seeing lots more gifts coming in.